Support WrestleTalk!
Give us a subscribe.
The company at the moment has got an incredible roster of talent.
I believe you're right.
And you know, if you are going to be taking a step back, who do you think you are looking at to be? I mean, obviously Roman Reigns is, he's the guy. But if you were to pick a strong number two,
well, this is a strong number two, man. That's a long day at the office. I think the whole perception of what we do is changing, and I think keeping to the method of there is one front man to the band is archaic. Our audience is growing, as you know that, and our audience is very segmented. There is a genuine older segment of the population that wants to see something, but they are surrounded on bookends by both younger and the bookend of the family population that gravitate towards other things. So that leads us to a weird cultural effect where, one, you can't predict your audience. Two, you can't please your entire audience. So the byproduct of that is there are no real good guys anymore, and there are no real bad guys anymore. Because even if there is a well-defined bad guy, the older male demographic will immediately cheer for the bad guy because they want to seem anti-establishment, even if they don't like the bad guy.
Yes.
I've been in this situation. And on the flip side of that, they will boo the good guy, which if you're an impressionable kid fan looking around going, what's happening? And it's just their way of making a statement of, hey, listen, I know this is your agenda, but keep in mind, you never take the power away from the fans, period.
Absolutely.
Because without the fans, the WWE is nothing. And that's why, as a weird experiment, I was kind of the first of my kind. Because in our business, usually when you hear a negative response, you go out there and you say, shut your mouth, town, and then you end up being a bad guy. And I was the first to be like, no, go out there and smile.
Yeah.
And it was not without its lumps in the road and not without its difficulties, but at the same time, I thank the WWE Universe to this day. They've made a better man out of me because they've taught me patience, tolerance, they've taught me how to earn respect. So many lessons that they have no idea.
Yeah. And
that's just them voicing their own opinion. So to a very long answer to a question, I don't believe that there is one person because the audience has grown so large.
Yeah.
I believe it is a team of people. A great example is the group of The Shield. I believe as individuals they were not as successful, but as a correlated group, their uniforms stand for something, their entrance is unorthodox, they are each like super friends of people that each have skills that you can gravitate towards, and I think each one of them appeals to a certain segment of the audience, and all together they all appeal to the audience.
Yeah.
So I think whether it's factions or whether it's just you have a split bunch of number ones, but they'll never, I never say never in the WWE, but I think it'll be a very rare occurrence going forward for a unified response for one superstar to be the front man.
Yeah.
So I've ruined it for everybody.
You've ruined it for absolutely no one.
They've been saying it for a while. I killed the business.
If you had to pick one guy, Royal Rumble's coming up, who's your one guy you'd like to see win the Rumble?
I really would like to see Roman get a chance to win the Rumble. Yeah. Only because I know the anticipation and the response that people will build for WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And that makes great moments. It makes the match I'm interested already because I already have an attitude towards Roman Reigns, whether positive or negative. And now if his opponent remains Brock Lesnar, that becomes a very interesting scenario, one we've seen before. But the thing I liked most about that contest, they hated Roman in the beginning, and then they began to get behind him.
Yeah.
And it was wonderful storytelling on both of their parts, and anyone who short-sides the skills of Roman Reigns is not watching the product.
Absolutely. We've been saying that on the channel for quite some time now. We've been
very good.
Big proponents of Roman Reigns.